First of all, thank you, everybody, for having me here. Tom Donaldson, everyone at FASD United. It is an absolute honor to be here. My name is Justin Shepard, and I directed the FASD project back in 2020, the award-winning FASD project. That was, thank you. And after going around and visiting a whole bunch of different walks of life across our beautiful country, and hearing all these different stories, I started hearing a lot of myself in these stories. Now, mind you, I've been around the topic of FASD for a very long time, as my wife, Dr. Christina Euban, is a researcher of it, and so I knew well of it heading into this film, but the more stories I heard, the more I heard of myself. And I started going, oh my gosh, this is what? I thought everybody had this issue. You don't know what you don't know, right? So I came back and explored a diagnosis myself, and it turns out I do also have an FASD, which is an amazing story in itself, but I think it truly speaks to the prevalence of this disability of FASD and how much attention it deserves and needs, especially in the arena of diagnosis and access to that. And I know that the FASD Respect Act is getting resources towards that and can be super helpful in that arena. It has been game-changing for me since I got my diagnosis. I've actually had open heart surgery that I was able to advocate for myself for, because it turns out I had a congenital birth defect in my heart and got into the Mayo very quickly, and they saved my life. And this is speaking to the power of what realizing having an FASD can do, getting the diagnosis, getting the resources, learning to advocate for yourself, and have others around you advocate for you as well. And this is why the work that FASD United is doing is so important, and why it's so important that we support them. Because FASD as a whole in the community needs resources. It needs advocacy. We need awareness. We need to hit that critical mass of 51% in our population. And that change is coming. I can feel it. 1 in 20. That's only the tip of the iceberg. Well, that's not a great analogy these days with global warming. Maybe the tip of the volcano or something like that. FASD is 50 years old. It's kind of crazy to think that something that was published and researched for 50 years is still underlying the way that it is in our society. But I think in 20 years, we'll look back at nights like tonight and at times like these as we're pushing forward the FASD Respect Act. And we'll remember that we were on the right side of history as advocates for FASD and fought the good fight with FASD United. So with that said, thank you guys so much for having me here tonight. I appreciate it very much. And please, please continue to push and help and advocate and fight for this very worthy cause. Thank you.